Good evening, and welcome to Topic Spotlight. Tonight we're discussing a very sensitive and important question. Should the fashion industry stop using animal fur? This is a difficult topic that touches on our feelings about animals, our concerns for the environment, and our ideas about personal choice and tradition. To help us understand the different sides of this argument, we have two guests. First, we have Leo, an animal rights advocate who believes fur should be banned completely. Welcome, Leo.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
And on the other side of the debate, we have Chloe, a representative for the fashion industry. She believes that natural, regulated fur still has a place in modern fashion. Welcome to the show, Chloe.
I'm happy to be here to discuss this.
Excellent. We'll start with opening statements from each of you. Leo, you have the floor first. Why do you believe animal fur should be banned?
Thank you. My position is very clear. Using animals for their fur is cruel, old-fashioned, and completely unnecessary in the 21st century. We're talking about a luxury product, not something people need to survive or stay warm. The main reason for a ban is the terrible suffering of the animals. Millions of animals like mink, foxes, and chinchillas are raised on fur farms every year. Their lives are short and full of pain. They're kept in tiny, dirty wire cages where they can barely move. These are wild animals, and this kind of life causes them extreme stress. They often hurt themselves and each other because of the terrible conditions. And in the end, they're killed, often in brutal ways, only for their skin. This happens just so someone can have a fur coat or a fur trim on a jacket, which is a fashion item, not a necessity. Furthermore, we now have amazing modern alternatives. High-quality faux fur or fake fur is available everywhere. It looks and feels like real fur, it's very warm, and no animals have to die for it. Some people will say fur is natural, but the industry is not. Fur farms are factory farms. They produce a large amount of animal waste, which can pollute the local water and soil. And to stop the fur from rotting, it's treated with toxic chemicals, like formaldehyde and chromium. These chemicals are harmful to the environment and to the people who work with them. Banning fur is simply a sign that we are a modern, compassionate society. It shows that we care about animals and that we refuse to support unnecessary cruelty for fashion. It's time to move forward.
Thank you, Leo, for that clear position. Chloe, I now invite you to make your opening statement. Why do you believe fur should not be banned?
Thank you, Sarah. I understand that this is an emotional topic, and I respect Leo's passion. However, banning fur is not the right solution, and it ignores many important facts about the modern fur industry and sustainability. First, let's talk about what fur actually is. It's a natural material. Humans have used fur for thousands of years to stay warm. It's a traditional material that is both durable and beautiful. When a fur coat is well cared for, it can last for 50 years or more. It can be passed down through generations or repaired and restyled. This is the opposite of fast fashion, where clothes are thrown away after 1 or 2 seasons. This brings me to my second point: sustainability. Real fur is biodegradable. When it's no longer wanted, it will break down and return to the earth, just like wood or cotton. Leo mentioned faux fur, but what is it made of? It's made from plastic, from petroleum. It's a type of plastic called acrylic. Every time you wash a faux fur coat, it releases tiny plastic microfibers into our water systems, which end up in the oceans, harming marine life. And when you throw away a faux fur coat, it will sit in a landfill for hundreds, maybe thousands of years without breaking down. So a ban on natural fur is actually a vote for more plastic pollution. Finally, I want to talk about regulations and choice. The fur industry today is not like it was 50 years ago. In many countries, there are very strict laws and certification programs, like welfare, that ensure high standards of animal welfare. These programs are based on scientific evidence and guarantee that animals are given good food, clean water, and proper housing. Banning fur would destroy the jobs of thousands of people, including farmers, designers, and craftspeople, many of whom live in rural communities where there are few other jobs. We believe the correct path is to support this regulated, sustainable industry and to give consumers the freedom to choose a natural, long-lasting product if they wish.
Thank you, Chloe. You've both given us a lot to think about. I'd like to move on to some direct questions now. Chloe, I'll start with you. Leo described terrible conditions for animals on fur farms. You talk about new regulations, but can it ever be ethical to raise and kill an animal just for a piece of clothing, just for fashion?
That's a very important question. The word ethical can mean different things to different people. For the modern fur industry, being ethical means showing respect for the animal and ensuring it has a good quality of life. This is what the certification programs are designed to do. The standards are very high. They cover everything from the size of the animal's living space to its psychological well-being. These are not the terrible places that Leo described from the past. These are professional farms that are regularly inspected. We also need to look at this in the context of how we use animals in other parts of our lives. Millions of people eat meat and wear leather shoes and belts. These products also come from animals that are raised and killed. The leather industry, for example, is a huge global business. Is it more ethical to use the skin of a cow for a handbag than the skin of a mink for a collar? The principle is the same. We are using an animal product. The key is to ensure it is done with the highest possible welfare standards. A total ban punishes the responsible, certified farmers, along with any bad ones. The better solution is to support only those who follow the rules and provide high welfare, sustainable fur.
Leo, I want to turn to you now. Chloe makes a very strong point about the environmental problems with faux fur. It's essentially plastic, and we all know about the global problem of plastic pollution. How can you support a move towards more plastic in our wardrobes?
That is a fair point. And I agree that we should be concerned about plastic pollution. It's true that many older or cheaper faux fur products were not environmentally friendly. But fashion and technology are changing very quickly. The future of fashion is innovation. Today, designers and scientists are creating new materials that are both beautiful and sustainable. There are companies making high-quality faux fur from recycled plastics, like old water bottles. This takes plastic that is already polluting our planet and gives it a new purpose. Even more exciting, there are new bio-based furs being developed from plant materials, like corn and other crops. These new materials are just beginning to enter the market, and they are the real future. They offer the same look and feel without the cruelty, and with a much smaller environmental footprint. I also have to challenge the idea that real fur is environmentally friendly. Chloe talks about it being natural, but the process is not. A fur farm with thousands of animals creates a huge amount of concentrated waste, which pollutes rivers. Think of the food and water needed for these animals. And, as I said before, the chemicals used to treat the pelts are highly toxic. So the choice is not simply natural fur versus plastic fur. The real choice is between an industry that is fundamentally cruel and polluting, and a future industry based on innovation, recycling, and plant-based materials. By banning fur, we encourage designers and companies to invest more in these wonderful new technologies.
We're reaching the end of our discussion. I'll now ask you both for a brief closing statement. Leo, please begin.
Thank you. The arguments we've heard tonight from the fur industry are the same old excuses. They talk about sustainability and tradition to hide a simple, ugly truth. The fur trade is built on the suffering of animals. Calling a fur farm with thousands of caged animals natural is simply wrong. It's an attempt to make the public feel better about something that is fundamentally cruel. It's a practice that belongs in the past, not in a progressive, forward-thinking society. This debate comes down to a simple question of values. Do we value a luxury fashion item more than the life and well-being of an animal? I believe the answer is no. We have better options now. We have innovative materials that don't require us to kill for a coat. We have a choice between cruelty and compassion, between staying in the past and moving toward a better future. I urge everyone to think about what kind of world they want to live in. Let's choose compassion. Let's choose innovation. Let's ban fur for good.
Thank you, Leo. And now, Chloe, your closing statement, please.
Tonight we've heard a lot of emotion, but we must also look at the facts. Banning a natural, durable material and replacing it with plastic is a step in the wrong direction for our planet. Faux fur is fast fashion. It contributes to a culture where we buy cheap clothes, wear them a few times, and then throw them away, creating mountains of plastic waste. Real, natural fur is the opposite. It's a slow fashion material. It's bought with care, worn for decades, and at the end of its long life, it returns to the soil. The modern fur industry is committed to high animal welfare standards and sustainable practices, providing jobs for communities that depend on them. This is not about cruelty versus compassion. This is about making responsible, informed decisions. It's about the freedom to choose a product that is natural over one that is plastic. It's about supporting regulated, local industries instead of mass-produced synthetics. The answer isn't a ban, which would have serious negative consequences for our environment and for many people's jobs. The right answer is to support sustainable, regulated, and certified natural fur, and to trust people to make responsible choices for themselves.
Thank you, Leo, and thank you, Chloe, for a very respectful and interesting debate. You've shown us that this issue is very complex, with valid points on both sides. We hope this discussion has given our audience a deeper understanding of the arguments. Thank you for watching Topic Spotlight. Good night.